Toots! It's Witsup! What? We've been asking pros about significant parts of the race course for them, and that's why we've tried to catch up with them for this interview. You chose to sort of ride from Waikaloa to Harvey and return. What is significant about that stretch of road?
So, for me, it's been a place where sort of things have changed in the race. You know, you can get to Waikaloa and it's just all sort of plain sailing. I've had 2 good races here, and I've had 2 pretty shit, can I say that, races. And the first time I had a bad race here, I got injured on the bike, and at Waikaloa I literally just felt a ping in my hamstring, and the race changed for me at that moment. Then I came back, had another good year. Then last year had a bad year, and it was sort of up at Harvey really that things went south. By the time I got to Harvey, I realised I'd just done too much surging, and my race, I think, although I didn't know at the time, was probably over around Harvey. So it's quite good to come back and practice on the course and put some of those demons to bed and try and feel confident at this part of the course and be clear about what I'm going to do here on race day so that doesn't happen again.
So in terms of going into this race, you said you've had a couple of bad ones, a couple of good ones as well. Where do you stand in terms of fitness levels, mental attitude, compared to other years leading into this year?
I don't know. I think everyone always says it every year. I'm a bit more relaxed this year because I don't think you can tell anything going into race week. You know, I've had years where I've felt amazing going into race week and I had an absolute shocker. I've had years where I felt terrible and I've had the best race of my life. I think I'm just older and wiser now, and I don't really think that much about how I'm feeling going into race week and what that means for race day. I feel confident. It's the standard. I'll always be the fittest I'm going to be for the year going into Kona. I think you'd be an idiot if you didn't, and I think most of the women will strive to be as fit as possible going into Kona. So everyone says it, I'm the fittest I've been of the year, and I am, but that doesn't mean I'm going to get a good race. It doesn't mean I'm going to show my potential, and I think I'm a bit more relaxed about that. But that doesn't mean I'm not nervous about showing my potential on race day. I think most people racing just want the ability to show the hard work that they've done and the fitness that they've brought to the race. And I think if I can do that, it's a really boring answer, but it's like, if I can show my potential, then I think I'll have a good race.
So,
sorry for being boring.
It's alright, may not publish it. So with all that being said then, what do you think is one of the biggest things you've learned about yourself over the last 12 months that you can take into this race?
Over the last 12 months, I think last year I was just pissed off. It was my own fault, and there's so many people who have a bad race on Saturday. People have really high expectations for Kona, and there's a lot of opportunities to go wrong. I mean, I didn't make massive mistakes last year, but you make a small mistake in Kona and it's enough to turn your race upside down. You can't afford to have multiple small mistakes unless you're one of a couple of people that can win the race on a bad day. I've learned to be a bit more patient, I suppose. Like, I've got what I've got. We're a week out from race day. I can't change anything. I know I'm fit. If I go into the race and do what I would do in any other race, then I know that I can have a good result. And if I show that on race day, then I'll be happy. And I think being able to deliver that, I need to be patient. It's a long day. It's a longer day in Kona, even if it's just, there's so much going on.
Daniela obviously is the big name here, multiple world champion, and a lot of people have said she's unbeatable. Do you have a response to that?
Yeah, I think I do think Daniela's the best we've ever seen.
Ever?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think I'd be quite confident in saying I believe she's the best we've ever seen, and I think that she is potentially beatable, but across the men's and women's races, I think there's two athletes that can have a bad day and still win, and I'd say that's Daniela and Frodo. I think that doesn't make her unbeatable. She could have a really bad day, but I think she has to have a really bad day for anyone to beat her. There's people, Lucy's getting pretty close to her, but it will be interesting to see how close she is this year. For me, I've come sixth twice. A fifth on upwards would be amazing. I'd be so happy. I'm trying this year not to focus on position. I'm just trying to focus on having the best race I can. I try to set myself realistic expectations, otherwise I don't find it motivating. So I will race my heart out to come as high up the field as possible, but I'm not the kind of person that would come along and say I'm going to beat Daniela, because I think that's not the next step for me. The next step for me is to be on the podium, whether it's a fuzzy podium with top 5 or an actual podium with top 3. Either I would genuinely be happy with that, but I think one thing I've learned over the past 4 years of racing here with 2 good races, 2 bad races, is that I'm less interested now than I've ever been in focusing on position. I'm really interested in just focusing on me and having the best race I can.
What's one question you wish media would ask you while you're in Kona?
I'd like media to ask me a bit more about my dog. He's my fur baby. I like to talk about him. You should follow me on Instagram, then you'll get loads of my ginger fur baby. He's so much more interesting than me. But when I post pictures of him, it gets like 2 likes, and I realise no one actually gives a shit.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not doing your posting right.
No, obviously not.
When I post photos of Henry or Frankie when on Witsup, it gets heaps of likes.
Are you trying to say that Henry's better looking than Jasper? Okay.
I'm not trying to say it.
I think Henry's got a better media manager than Jasper.
Okay. But Jasper's a better singer than Henry.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. All right, let me ask you a very quick question about Jasper. What is Jasper's greatest quality?
Come on, you know that. His singing. It's just unbelievable. Sings on demand. You just have to say sing, and he starts singing. What other dog does that?
No other dog.
It's like literally like super advanced. In England it would be like Key Stage 6. That's like how we grade our like schooling. And like Key Stage 6 is like off the charts.
Right.
Jasper's off the charts.
I've witnessed it.
Yeah.
It's true. Fact.
Yeah.